I chose this because of the wonderful leaping character of it. This is childhood joy that we want to keep our whole lives. And thanks to Carl Philipp Telemann, we have this piece. This was written he lived from 1681 to 1767, 86 years old. So this man was tapped in and tuned in to the joy and vitality of life. Now, looking at our chart here, which is in 3 parts. The first line is the A section, first inning, repeat, second inning. So twice on the first system. Our second system is the B section, and our third system is the A section. Now what's unique about this piece, among other things, I'll start right off with the recapitulation of the A section. In pretty much 95% of the pieces that I've seen working with material my whole lifetime, we have, when we get to the A section recapitulation, it starts exactly like the previous A section, but not in this piece. This is a delayed recapitulation. Now if I take my protractor and I divide the 8 measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there is my midpoint. And notice how the bar lines line up exactly. So in this case, we can look at our material from the last 4 measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the first 1, 2, 3, 4. And what he's done is to have right before the mid part, and this is unique, is a connector measure. And they line up in this grid right here. This measure directly below it and directly below it. Now understanding that, being able to see it and analyze it, identify it as different material is going to give us a real head start on how to practice this. Now I'd like to start at the beginning here and play the right hand. That's really the end of the phrase. And then the second utterance of it, exactly the same. Now what connected those two was a 5-finger pattern in the key of G. That's the key we're in. This would have been pretty easy if he had just done with the 5 fingers, how we play 5-finger patterns. But what makes this tricky is we have to start it like a scale. 1, 2, 3, and tuck your thumb. So you'll want to practice that measure separately, starting right here and measure 1, 2, 3, 4. And get this like that. Now when I go and put the whole thing together, right hand, you'll hear how important that connector measure is. D, B, G. G major triad. B, G. Connector. D, B, G. Now the left hand. Straightforward. Now we put them together. Connector. Now going on to the B section. Fourth, jump up to G. Let's just stop right there. Play it again. This is moving. Can you hear we're moving somewhere? Here's our connector measure, and the second half of that line, 1, 2, 3, 4, sounds like this. We've heard that before. It's an inversion of our beginning. Our beginning goes ascending, upward leaping. This one is downward leaping. left hand does, starting at this midway point. First note, that's leading to D major, which is the fifth of our home key, in G. So if I start right here with the hands together, I have this. A nice, concise statement. Let's do it again. Guess what we do? Right at the end of our second system, another connector measure. Brings us right back, almost to home. And the right hand at the last system here. Now I found I had to learn this piece just like you have to. The same steps, there are really no shortcuts no matter what your level is. And I found by having to learn, starting in my last system here, all four of these measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, or these in the previous system, 1, 2, 3, 4, it was a lot for my brain to handle. It was a lot for my fingers to handle. So what I did is to stop after the third measure. And that's how I learned the importance of practicing these connectors by themselves. You must break this down for really thorough and effective practicing. This will serve you the best way. You'll actually get more out of your practicing if you break this piece down into smaller bite-sized pieces. Break it down into 3 and 1. 3 and 1. So I just want to take the time and play these for you, how you're going to practice. Because knowing how to practice is not always that obvious. And I like to be shown. And it's a suggestion, of course. Your teacher has plenty of suggestions, but I find that these might be some you want to add. So let's start with our system number 2 here in the left hand. Listen to this line. I'm just going to play the skeletal outline. First measure is the G, down a step in the scale to F sharp, down in the scale to E and D. That's the outline. Train your ears, that's what's happening. But what Telemann does is to do it by way of leaps and jumps and skips, and I think they're dance steps. When I play this piece and I play it in my mind, I imagine that my fingers are dancers, and this is all choreography, finger choreography, that you need to train your fingers, this intricate little quick steps. Listen to these quick little steps. You see what I mean? That's a lot to track. So let's just take the first 3. That's plenty. Now let's add the connector. See how hard that is? Down the octave. Up a 9th and a step. You'll have to practice just the connector about 5 times in a row. Then you can add it. And the whole 4 measures then will sound like this. By the same token, on the last system, the right hand's got the tricky footwork. Here are the first 3 measures. B, C, up a step to D, going up, and here comes the kick. That's hard. So just do that. It's a 5-finger pattern. Easy to play. Stop on the A there. So practice like this. It's B, C, D, A. Let's do it again. Okay, once that's learned, let's practice the connector. This is tricky. Say the fingerings. 1, 1, 3, a little faster. Up to tempo. Now let's put the whole thing together. Finally, recapitulation, right there. Okay, looking at the left hand, that last system. See, this is a complicated piece. There is so much to this piece. And I probably would call it almost a later intermediate piece. So here we go in the left hand last system. Now here's our recapitulation. Okay, I'm going to play the whole piece for you now. And notice at the end here, my delayed recapitulation. It doesn't come until here. So what you'll hear on the last system is this. Now the recapitulation. Recapitulation. You can add ornaments if you want. Okay. Here is the entire piece. Now, I'll just do a little explanation here of the choice of articulation. That's if it's smooth and connected, or if it's slurred, or if it's staccato, is not indicated in the music. And in this period of the Baroque period, and Telemann was very good friends with Bach and Handel, that performance practice was left up to the performer. So you get to choose which way you want to actually articulate this piece. I have developed for my own tastes a leaping with a skip, yampa, yampa, because I like that character, it gives the spring to it. I like to, it's fun for me to play it like that, but you don't have to. It's how I'm going to do it right now though. Okay, here we go. So enjoy your practicing, and I do want to leave you with one last image, and it's actually a stanza from a poem that's a deep favorite of mine by Longfellow. It's from the poem The Builders, and this is the stanza that I love. In the elder days of art, builders wrought with greatest care each minute and unseen part, for the gods see everywhere. And when you're practicing, every minute and unseen part is going to show up in your performance. And it will serve you well. They'll all be locked in there. Every one of those nuggets that you've worked so hard to practice will come out in your performance, and you'll practice and play with the spirit of the piece, which is really for our self-expression and joy of our spirits. Happy practicing, and thank you.